Hello and welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with another video update for Wainriders, the submod for 4th Age Total War that takes the action back into the 3rd Age. Today we're taking a look at a very interesting faction, the Lordship of Umbar. Now we do know a bit about the history of Umbar. It began as a settlement for the Numenorians, a haven and a stronghold for them in the 2nd Age. And in the 3rd Age, it became a refuge and stronghold of rebels of the king. This was after the kin strife. And we imagined that later on in the 3rd Age, just prior to the Wainrider invasion, although in the year 1810 Gondor did take back the city of Umbar itself, that there would still be existing around the fringes and the hinterlands this disaffected population, some of which were Gondorian of descent, but most of which were Haradrian. And so this is the faction that you will be leading if you choose to play as the Lordship of Umbar. Your first order of business, of course, will be to take back that capital, the city of Umbar itself, and from there you're going to have to decide how to expand, whether you go inland to challenge the Haradrian tribes for the valuable resources you can find in the interior, or whether you head up the coast to settle that score against your great rival of Gondor. To help you with that, whichever way you go, you will have the bodyguard unit of Umbar Knights. These are extremely heavily armored cavalry units with spears and long swords as well. So they're not going to be the fastest of your troops, but they're going to be a great hammer for when they can make contact with the enemy. By far, some of your faster troops are going to be these plainsman-mounted skirmishers. And this illustrates pretty nicely the dichotomy you'll be able to see in the Lordship of Umbar. You will have those very heavy, super well-armed Dunedanic-style troops, but then complementing them, these very fast, light, less well-armed, but potentially hard-hitting Haradrian-style troops. And these are, of course, javelin skirmishers who will be best kept out of harm's reach, but can inflict a great deal of damage with those throwing spears. Another cavalry arm you have is these Scarlet Shields. Again, very well-armored, similar to the bodyguard unit, but they are more of a straightforward cavalry in terms of speed and in terms of just their charge and shock effect. They have sabers as a secondary weapon in addition to their spears. I believe they're going to have a fear effect in addition to everything else. So just a fantastic unit all around. And maybe some of the native population are represented here as well, although the style of armor is certainly influenced by Dunedanic styles. And in addition, if you do go inland, you may be able to recruit Mumakil. So these are, of course, just an excellent unit, and we'll see them in the battle here, smashing foes very effectively. In terms of your infantry, you do have that dichotomy exemplified as well. You've got these plainsman skirmishers here, who are, I believe, a Tier 1 infantry unit. No shields, basically no armor for these guys, so it's going to be very dangerous for them to get even within throwing range or bow shot range. But they're there to kind of distract, to harass, and they can get some surprising losses in with their javelins. A bit further back, we've got Mariner Archers, so of course a fairly light bowman unit, although they do have the benefit of some protection from their helmets. These are going to be, I think, pretty cost-effective, and so you'll be able to train a decent amount of these Mariner Archers. And complementing them, the very heavily armored guards of the Haven. Longbows and spears, and that nice armor that they wear is going to mean that they can stand up to both ranged punishment as well as a bit of melee in addition. Your infantry line, I've chosen 4 units of these Mariners, a very, very good-looking unit. This has been entirely reworked by Weba84. So the sort of a brimmed helmet, good armor, shield, javelins, and sword makes this very versatile and with a decent amount of staying power. We're also seeing on the left wing these Palace Guard charging into Swan Knights of Belfalis, and they're going to cut them down pretty easily with these long pole arms of theirs. Of course, they lack shields, and I'm going to get these guys in a bit of trouble here as I lose track of the micromanagement and send them right into the enemy army. So that's something to watch out for. We also have Black Numenorians potentially. This is going to depend on how you develop your faction in the campaign, I think. But Black Numenorians, of course, would be descended from, I guess, the Kingsmen of the 2nd Age, those who openly declared for Sauron, or were at least loyal to the king and not followers of Elendil. So some Black Númenóreans would have remained potentially into the Third Age, so it's nice to imagine them here. These are going to be a pretty hard-hitting melee infantry unit, although they will not have the benefit of as much protection as some other troops. But they're going to do fairly well charging into these men-at-arms and mariners here. And you can see the range on these mariners are going to stand them in very good stead on this hill where they're going to be very effective. So here come the Black Númenóreans, charging right into the rear of the men-at-arms, and I think they're going to be routing fairly quickly. And of course, when you're dealing with Mumakil, you've just got a great advantage. So you can see the Footmen of the Harad losing heavily against the Spearmen of Gondor. That's fine. This is more of a speed bump type unit, honestly, if you bring them to the fight. I brought them to this one just to sort of show them. But if you can have them hold out at all while the Mumakil are charging back and forth, then that's going to be quite effective indeed. On the right wing, we have another unit of infantry. These are Spearmen of the Harad. This is another element of the native population available to the Lordship of Umbar. And these are going to be a higher tier spear unit for you. More widespread, more easily available than the Palace Guard. They will also have the benefit of a shield and very well armed indeed. They're going to be effective against all types of units, not so much for their killing power, but for their staying power. So that's the idea. Use these guys to hold a position, complement with the cavalry or with your mariners, and you're going to be in a pretty good position indeed. So I think we've seen just about all the units that are available to this faction. In addition to what you see here, there will be other faction-specific mercenaries and potentially other special units, such as ballistas and things of that nature. But this gives you a pretty good sense of the type of faction you'll be leading into war if you choose to play as the Lordship of Umbar. They're going to be an interesting mix, I think, because you'll have these expensive but heavily armed troops, and you'll be in a very precarious position initially in the campaign as you struggle to take back your capital that is your namesake, and then determine how you're going to advance. Do you want to travel inland to wrest control of the trade routes from the Haradrim and potentially train Mumakil yourself? Or do you want to head up the coasts to cause trouble for Gondor and take those very wealthy lands in their heartlands? So whichever way you go, I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. That's at least the plan, but an interesting choice. So I hope you enjoyed this preview of the Lordship of Umbar. Stay tuned to the channel for other updates. We're going to be bringing those to you fairly regularly as we get factions updated. And check out our TotalWarCenter.net forums for updates on Wainriders, as well as our Discord, and I'll have some links to that stuff down below. So until then, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.